Getting things back together. Got all the cases cleaned up. Got a new crank seal in it and the bearings back in. But got it all cleaned up, and I'll show you the other side where it was filled with debris down the bottom here. But it cleaned up nice and got all the bearings back in, freshened up, and then we have the crankshaft back. I sent it off to Lancaster Sprint, Ron Lancaster and Company. They totally rebuilt this crank. So apparently what happens in this plug right here, the aluminum plug, debris builds up in their oil and debris over the years. So they pull it completely apart, clean everything up, put new bearings in it, trued it all, put it all back together. And then on the other side of the case, got the bearings back in. The transmission is all back together. Case is all cleaned up. And let's see if we can lift it up and show you the other side. Yeah, there's the other side. Everything's all clean. I started lubricating things and getting my grubby little fingers all over the clean cases, which were kind of a challenge to get those cases all cleaned up. But anyway, that's where I stand now. I'm going to start putting the crank back in and go from there. All right, let's start putting this thing back together. Here's what I've done. I cleaned the fiber plates and metal plates on the clutch, and I soaked them in oil last night, and I have them out dripping now. Over here, I have this case. I decided I'm going to change out this countershaft bearing. It has a flat spot in it, and thought better to do it now than have it all together and find out there's a problem. Here's a countershaft drive, and the countershaft sprocket goes. Here's a seal and bushing. Here's the clutch assembly that I'll put together on the case, and we'll put the plates in. Here we have the oil pump and the oil pump gear, the camshaft, and some pinion and crank gears. And then over here we have the shifter shaft. I pulled it apart, cleaned it, and I cleaned these detents out and oiled them. Put the detent in here, cleaned this all up. I also put the crank in. I took the crank and put it in the freezer, let that get nice and cold. Then I heated up the bearing, had it flipped over on the other side, and the crankshaft fell right in. It's beautiful. So I'll put in the tappets here. The oil pump goes here. And then I'll put it on fast motion so you guys won't get too bored, whoever decides to watch this. All right, thanks, guys. The engine almost completely together. I just put this case here to sit. I have to polish this case up. On the inside I got the clutch, everything back together. I put a little safety wire to hold this on so it doesn't fall off and I don't lose it. Got the cam in, the pinion gears, the oil pump. Got the cylinder back on, piston and ring in, the head on. You got the rocker arms in, the valves in, the push rods. And so basically I have to start adjusting the valves, get the proper clearance, and put it back together, finish it up.